We are here with you now. It's nice to be together. We always are. Sometimes it's not as obvious. You're knowing what you're wanting? Do you know? Knowing what you want to give and knowing what you want to get, knowing what you want to contribute. You have some things that are particularly on your mind, some things that your life experience has queued up for you. We want to say as we begin here that there's nothing off limits. There isn't anything that you could ask about that would be inappropriate. There is a comfortable, or you might say logical, unfolding of things. And so you'll notice that as we go along. Often as we begin, like here and now, we prepave or get out ahead just a little bit by reminding you of some things that you already know, but we want to bring these things to the forefront of your consciousness. We want to remind you that you are source energy in physical bodies, and that you are creators, and that you came to this body, to this time, and to this place in order to do exactly that. And we want to remind you that you're always doing that. You're always creating. You're always causing an expansion, whether you know that you are or not. So this conversation, its best advantage to you is that it awakens within you here and now, that it reminds you that deliberate focus is what deliberate creation is, and that sloppy focus or knee-jerk reactions to things, that's what creating by default is. And most everybody you know is creating by default. They're just reacting. And what we mean by that is there's plenty going on around the world, around your life, that gets your attention. Esther was laughing and then not, and then laughing and then not, as she tried to find a place to plug her curling iron in. There were lots of places to plug things in, but they were weird kinds of things, not like her curling iron. And so she's thinking, now I've done this many times. I can do this. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But it got pretty funny. She moved almost every piece of furniture in her cabin in order to figure out how to plug it in. And then her extension cord was not long enough. So she had a choice to be in front of a mirror that was very well lighted with no curling iron, or to be in a very dark place with a curling iron and no mirror. Oh, she got very clever. She moved this table over there and dislodged a lamp from over there, and she managed it. But what usually takes 2 minutes to set up for took her an hour. So she was having some knee-jerk reactions, some reactions to the conditions, because it wasn't easy like she wants it to be. Well, isn't it kind of like that sometimes? Aren't you happy to know about yourself that you are adaptive, that you can make things happen anyway, that you can adjust to your environment, that you've had enough life experience? Are you at the place yet, or still? More likely yet. Are you at the place yet where you acknowledge unequivocally that well-being is the trend of your planet? Or are you knee-jerking with different things that you're hearing in different places about things that are happening in different pockets? In other words, how do you feel? What's your stability? Are you stable in your connection with source energy and in your absolute knowing that well-being does abound, and that you can adapt right into it, and that a creative life is one that is constantly moving forward and not clinging to what is? Or are you like most of the world that is freaking out when there is change, and therefore not in the receiving mode of ideas to help you to adapt? You are brilliant, genius creators that have come into an environment that is ever changing, always has been, always will be. And you are right here and now, experiencing more change, more opportunity to adjust and adapt and create and discover and feel triumphant. Esther's never been prouder of her hair. Not because it looks good, that's not what we mean, and it's not what she thinks. But she got it done. Now, that's not something that she's been all that excited about lately. So, we're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. You'll notice that as we are moving along in these days that we're together, that while we will hear you in whatever point of view you are standing in, wherever it is you are in your life, we will hear you. But there is something else that we hear louder than your description of where you stand. And that is our description, our understanding of where the larger part of you stands in your vibrational reality. The launching of desires and the choosing of things, the intentionality that has been happening within you in very strong fashion. So there is a vibrational version of your life that is already vibrationally happening. It is. It's not future tense like you want to call it because the money isn't in your bank yet or whatever it is you're reaching for. But there is a vibrational reality that is substantial enough, significant enough that we see it. So in every moment that we are visiting with you, as you are expressing where your perspective tells you that you are, we're going to be blending into that mix of conversation, both verbal and vibrational, our understanding of where you really stand. And so if you can relax and allow yourself to come along with what's really going on, with the big picture in your life experience, you can have some pretty big vibrational, mood shifting, emotional shifting adjustments that will put you in a receiving mode where things that are in your vortex where you think they aren't because you can't see them or hear them or smell them or taste them or touch them, but they are there just the same. You can sense them, you can sense them, and we understand them fully. Those non-physical, vibrational realities will transform into something that is noticeable by you and others around you. It's just the way creation works. Creation has always been about thoughts turning to things, but humans don't understand that because you're so busy looking at the things. And when you're just looking at the things and wanting the things to be different than they are, not taking into consideration that there are some thoughts moving into things, if you're just looking at what is, then things are always changing, but they're just changing to more of the same. But when you get to this place where you accept these premises, and this is what we want, this is what we're asking of you, accept that you are more than the physical you that you think you are, and accept that there is a non-physical you that is with you every step of the way, all day, all night, with you all the time, who really knows what's going on, who is often the reason for the impulses that you feel. So what we're really getting down to is, and that's what this gathering is mostly going to be about, is helping you to accept the reality of that vibrational version and to find ways through what we talk about here to make that vibrational version become the physical reality that you want to experience and enjoy. We want you to experience, to have the satisfaction of what you came into this life experience for. So we're going to be talking about you and your inner being, and we're going to be talking about you in relationship to whatever it is that's on your mind. But we're going to help you by the end of this voyage understand without question what calibrating to the whole of you is all about, what it's about, what it means, what it does, and how to do it. And once you get that under your belt, once you understand that instead of being like most people who are just calibrating to whatever's going on around them, in other words, Esther was not willing to accept that her stateroom would not allow her to do what she wanted to do in the way that she wanted to do it. So she vibed it out and managed to make it work for her. And it was mostly fun. You ready to go? All right. We're going to get around here where we can see you more clearly. The light's very bright.